Dave Johal once again. Pleased to be joined this time by assistant coach to Ben Davidson and Josh Taylor. Once again, Asgar Tair. How are you, Asgi?
I'm good, Dave. Good to see you. I like that Hugo Boss top, man. Bloody hell. That must be great.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time we're on, somehow, it's always Boss, isn't it? I don't know what it is.
You're the man, Dave. You're the man.
How have you been anyway? Happy New Year, first and foremost.
And Happy New Year to you. Hope the family's well. I see you're spending some quality time with the two girls. Hope they're well.
Yep, forced as well through homeschooling, as most of the nation is.
Hey, listen, we're all in the same boat. Well, listen, it's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about 2021 and what it brings. How's your stable coming along? How's Mikey and the rest of the guys over there and Mark?
Yeah, the stable's really well. Mikey Lee's really ticking all the right boxes for me. Obviously, he's my newly signed boxer. I've also got Ahid Khan. I've got Habil Khan. I've got Hannah Jones. I've got Siraj Ahmed. And hopefully some exciting news with big Mark Ahunjo. We're sitting down, we're talking through things, and hopefully I'll have him signed up with me. So some exciting times ahead. You know, everybody's ticking the right boxes, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. Absolutely buzzing.
Brilliant. I mean, latest news this week, Boxing Voice did an interview with Robert Smith from the British Boxing Board of Control a few days ago, to be fair, and he told us about the boxing being reinstated again, mid-February, should we just say? Don't want to put a date on it, but mid-February. Did you have any dates placed or in plan? And because of that, now they're going to be pushed later on, including some of the debuts of the guys, or?
No, listen, most of the debutants were waiting for small hall shows just to build up their momentum, build up their reputation, then look towards a promoter. But with Mark Ahunjo and Mikey Lee brought in, I think they'll bypass all that because they're of high caliber. I still think there's something special with Hannah Jones. I think she'll do well. Obviously, even with Ahid and Habil, I think they're just up there. Just need to get that connection. Siraj Ahmed's already signed a deal with Amir Khan Promotions. He already went on the Amir Khan promotion show in Pakistan, so he's set in his way. So just got to get him back in action, get him active again. I've got the whole team back together. So just getting everybody, just getting them training, getting them fighting fit. So as soon as we get the call, we're ready. We don't need to give us a few weeks. We're ready.
What was it like going over to Lahore, fighting on the Amir Khan show? It looked,
to be honest,
it looked really good. To be fair.
It was a fantastic show. It was a fantastic experience. Personally, it was great just because it's my motherland. It was great to actually go home and to put on a show. Like I said in many interviews before, one of my key things in life was to bring professional boxing to Pakistan, and that was one of my achievements in life in boxing. And it felt great. It was just great. And we got the win, got to meet some great people. It was just a privilege and it was great. It was just a great show. I loved it.
How's Amir over there? Because is this his second or third show? Because he's done it before, hasn't he?
That was Amir's second show. A show he did with pound for pound Dr. T, Tawheed Tazim, which was great. He did a fantastic job. Him and his team did great pulling it all together. And he gave us the opportunity to be on that show. So for them guys, we thank them a lot. For Amir Khan Promotions, thank them a lot. It was just a great experience for us. So big shout out to the pound for pound team. So hopefully there's another show to get us on. We're ready.
Brilliant. There's talks this week. I mean, loads to talk about with you and getting your opinion on. One of the fights that they're thinking that could happen this year. I mean, they've been talking about it for years, haven't they? Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Do you think this is the year that it happens? And what are your thoughts on that? Because you spent time with Amir, you've seen Brook box as well. I mean, do you think it's now or never? This is the year, or forget about it?
I've heard that Kell Brook's agreed to the fight. I know Amir Khan wants a fight, and I think it will happen. I think it's a great domestic fight, and there'll be a lot of interest globally anyway. So Amir Khan needs to really prove himself. Kell Brooks, this is his last chance, and also would like to prove himself. It really is going to be an interesting fight. People could say it's past the sell by day, but I don't think so. I think it's a great fight, and the fight will be won outside the ring, not inside the ring. It'll be won with preparation. who's on point, who's got the right conditioners, the right mindset. Both can box, both can punch, both have got speed. So it's all about the preparation beforehand. I know it sounds crazy, and people think, what do you mean fights will be won outside? Trust me, those at that level understand.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about your predictions as well, Asky. You haven't got a few.
Oh, see, my prediction, it all depends. See, if Ben Davison was involved, possibly favouring Amir Khan, are you there?
Yep.
I'm favouring Amir Khan. Who Kell goes with, again, all depends. So I'll wait to see who they've settled with, and then obviously I'll make my prediction.
Yeah, too early to call, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, because you want to know where they're at.
Yeah, especially because I think Kell's, well, we know, don't we? It was Terence Crawford, shared opponent, and I think Amir Khan last fought Billy Dib, wasn't it, a few years ago?
Yeah.
Years ago. So, and again, he's been involved in peace projects and charity work and so on and so forth. So yeah, it all depends on what's going to happen on the day. What are your thoughts of the fight between AJ and Fury? I mean, today there's been a lot of news about the
venues and all that. Listen, the fight is very simple to be made. I'm sure AJ and Tyson have agreed to fight, but it's all about the terms and conditions, and I'm sure it's all about how much each boxer makes. Now, as a boxing fan, it's fantastic for British boxing. Boxing wins, the fans win, the fighters win. So it's a great thing all around. May the best man win. Both have done great for boxing. Obviously, I'm going to favour Tyson Fury. He's my guy. But I like what Anthony Joshua does. He's showing improvements. He's showing he's more mobile. He's more flexible. He's got a better engine. But at the end of the day, you never know. We can all say and all give our opinion, but it's heavyweight boxing. One punch changes the game. We know AJ can fight. We know Tyson can punch. We know Tyson can take a punch. So it's very interesting. It's a great fight to have. I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, the stadium, that's going to be. We need a crowd there, right? So you need a massive crowd, and with the coronavirus,
when people say a crowd, what brings more, pay-per-view or the crowd?
Well, one would
pay-per-view, obviously.
Pay-per-view.
So as a business, on a business sense, I'd want it to be someone like Dubai or Saudi. So that means everyone has to go on pay-per-view. It's a numbers game. Numbers is what pays everybody. Obviously, the fans love to be there. We great atmosphere. But I'm sure Eddie Hearns will have something to do with it, where he'll try and get a crowd just to build the atmosphere and give. Oh, sorry.
I've got you back.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, man. So hopefully it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do with that one. And another fight as well is that people really want to see, and you've definitely got your opinions on this, rightfully so, because you've been in this.
Don't say it. You're going to say Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, right?
Yes.
And you know who? Listen, you already know I'm vocal, but let me tell you something. If Mr. Big Bollocks thinks he's the man, sign the fucking contract. Billy Joe's made it vocal, made it clear he's ready. Don't be trying to take a man out of his momentum. Right, I'll fight this guy, then I'll fight that guy, then I'll fight Billy Joe. Listen, give him a day. Let Billy Joe prepare properly. You prepare properly, and let's have this an equal fight. You're claiming to be champion. You've already beat Callum Smith, who held some belts. Fight the real deal, Billy Joe. You know he's ready. Let Joe build his momentum. Get one more fight before he fights Canelo. Let Canelo have his fight, build up his momentum. So there's no excuses. May the best man win. And you know who I'm favouring? You know it. I've always said this. Billy Joe, the better the opposition, the better he performs. And there's no one better than Canelo. So at the end of the day, it's all about Billy Joe.
Yeah, I mean...
And Billy Joe, and here's a statement I'm making to you now. He's going to knock him out. He's going to make him quit.
You heard it here.
He's going to make Canelo quit. And let me tell you why. You do know Billy Joe's going to have to knock him out just to get a draw. That's how corrupt that game is. So when you make a man quit, there's no conversation, no debating that, is there? He's going to be Mr. Roberto Duran too and start screaming, no mas, no mas. And I'm going to be there celebrating. Well, I won't be there. I'll be here watching. I'll be celebrating. And I'll be posting it on social media next day.
You have to admit it's going to be the best versus the best, though, isn't it? That is going to be the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what a fight's going to be.
I mean, you could say as well, from what you've seen of Canelo, from post Mayweather, he's definitely improved a lot, hasn't he, in terms of his caliber. So if Billy Joe, whoever...
Whoa, Dave, rewind. Did you say he's improved since fighting Mayweather?
Yep.
How did you do? Okay, pause. Okay, pause. How did he do? Well, how did he do against Triple G?
The second fight or the first fight?
Let's talk about the first one.
Honest opinion, I think it was a very close fight, and you could argue that.
Listen, Dave, you can have a sore bum sitting on that fence. Be straight up.
You could argue that he lost. That
okay. Let's move on to Mr. Lara.
Yep. Very tricky fight. Yep.
So we can all say he's improved since bloody Mayweather, but then he fought Callum Smith, who's come off a tough fight that he should have lost against Ryder. You know it, and I know it. So don't tell me he's done very, very well. He's improved. Well, if he has improved, do you not think he'll be taking this Billy Joe Saunders fight? No, he won't. He'll look for every excuse. He's a coward. He's a disgrace. And I say he's a disgrace. Don't get me wrong, he's a great boxer, but he's a disgrace when every time he says he's pound for pound number one. Piss off. You're not pound for pound number one. Josh Taylor's pound for pound number one. And I'll put Terence Crawford right up there with him. So, Canelo, let's do one, mate.
Right.
And Billy Joe Saunders, right, there you go. You've got my opinion.
There you go. I don't think we need to labour that point anymore. But just on Billy Joe, just one more thing on there. I mean, he's been wanting this fight for such a long time, and for some reason, it just doesn't happen. I mean, what more do you think he can do? He's with the right promotional company. We've got Canelo on the right. It has to happen now, isn't it? I mean, this is the year, right? I mean, Andrade.
I'm sure it's gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, good. I mean, we can definitely do with that this year. That would be amazing. And then going on to Josh Taylor.
Listen, let me tell you about Josh Taylor. You just want to ignore this guy, leave him alone, don't bother him, because he'll destroy anyone that's put in front of him. He would. I used to like Lopez. You see what I was very vocal when he fought Lomachenko. But then he had to go and mention Josh Taylor's name. And then I had to remind Lopez, listen, stay in your lane, son. Stay in your lane. Do not try and upset. Do not even tread on these thin ices, because Josh Taylor will beat you that bad. He'll make you want to quit boxing, because you'll fall out of love of boxing after the beating he gives you. Let the man be. Let him fight Ramirez. Let him unify the division, and let him decide what's going to happen after. And Lopez, go and fight Javante. Go and fight whoever you want to fight, because you definitely don't want Lomachenko rematch, do you? Why don't you want that? Because you know he took his foot off the gas. And when he did put his foot on the gas, for the last 6 rounds, he was on fire. So listen, everyone needs to stay in their lane. I understand you're the undisputed champion, but do not fuck with Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor will beat the shit out of you and drill you a new hole. Okay, let's move on. You know what I'm saying about Josh Taylor.
Just on that though, when is the Ramirez fight likely to happen? It's coming up soon, right?
Well, yeah, I thought initially end of February, but I'm sure it'll get moved back a bit, and I'm sure it'll happen as soon as possible.
Oh, good. Just a very last one before we wrap things up, Asgi. Talking about Mikey Lee Broughton. We went to see him at the gym. Very impressed from what we've seen. How do you sort of plot his future? What kind of things are you going to be doing in terms of matching him up against opponents? Because we've had quite a few people now in terms of signing pro, and due to what's going on with the coronavirus, COVID and everything like that, and shows being cancelled, they've been put on the back burner and looking at possible dates. How are you plotting his future personally and his path and matching opponents?
Well, with Mikey, basically, we're in no rush. For us, we go sparring. For us, it's about using them spars as their belts. That's as far as we're concerned. If a show comes along and we get on it, so be it. But Mikey's a very smart kid. He understands the situation that everybody is in. So I don't want to put any extra pressure on Mikey. I've told him straight up, this is the situation. Let's just travel the country. Let's get the good sparring, high-level sparring. Let's earn your reputation or build your reputation that way. hopefully one of the promoters get to see him or hear about him, and we can arrange a deal and get him on one of the promoter shows. But if not, we'll get him on one of the small hall shows. Either way, he'll be staying dedicated to what he does. He lives a lifestyle as a professional boxer, very well disciplined, and he's very level-headed. And I think he'll be one serious operator in this game. You've seen what he's like. What was your honest opinion?
I think he's a great future prospect. Being totally honest and impartial, I think a very humble kid as well. Lives and breathes the sport, and he was itching to go. To be fair, that's the impression I got. He was raring to go, and this is all he knows. So it looks like the framework of someone who's taking this seriously. To be fair,
yeah, it's really good because listen, he's got he's got Siraj Ahmed around him. He's got Ahid Khan around him, both similar weights, and it's just great. They all bounce off each other. So, real exciting times for these young kids. Really exciting. I'm buzzing, and to be honest with you, they've given me the buzz again. You know, sometimes you lose the buzz of it, and I think now's the time for me to demonstrate my coaching skills, and not in a selfish way. You know, now I want to showcase my skills. You know, I've been through the grassroots. I've won multiple champions at so many different ways, year after year after year. Now I want to start showing what I can do as a professional coach. Yes, I am an assistant to so many people, Ben Davidson and Billy Joe and Josh, and I want to show what I can do. But I also want to show what I can do as a head coach myself. I've got an exciting amateur that from my club, Mark Honjo, who hopefully, fingers crossed, we agree on something and he signs with us, and then I can get the ball rolling with him. Hannah Jones, you know, fantastic young boxer. Ellis Hopkins, who I advise and I work alongside behind the scenes. Oh, she will be world champion without a doubt. Habil, who's got a lot of things on his plate in terms of personally, but in terms of boxing, he'll be, God willing, everything works out, he will be a name as well. Siraj, obviously, we'd wait for another day, either Dubai or Pakistan, getting back out there again. And I've got so many other amateurs that want to join up, but they've got to, you know, I've got to believe in it myself. I've got great people I can speak to. I've got good people I can get advice from. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for our young boxers. So in terms of our stable, I'm buzzing. We've got Ramsey back, Bambi's back. We've got everybody back. You know, we've got T back. We've got everyone's ready. We're going to just go, you know, full steams ahead because Sam Goodrum's back on board. So I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Got a good team.
Brilliant, and hopefully this will be the year where you get a bit more kudos, like you said, as a head coach. But take nothing away from you and what you've done so far with your work with Ben Davidson, Josh Taylor, Billy Joe Saunders, just to name it, Louis Edmondson as well. So loads of people that you're working with at the moment.
Hey, let's talk about Louis Edmondson because he is another guy that doesn't realize how strong he is. I was holding the pads for him, and I'm used to heavyweights. I've done with Tyson. I've done with a lot of, you know, Eddie Chambers. I've done a lot of heavyweights, and they obviously hurt you. But Louis Edmondson breaks your hand. You feel a vibration, and I know this kid's going to be special. And when he went out and he fought and he stopped the geezer, you know, I was like, what else was you expecting? I know how hard you hit. Once you start understanding it yourself, he's going to be like Thomas the Hitman Hearns. He'll be knocking him out for fun.
Yeah, that'll be great. To be fair, another notch in your belt there with a championship fighter. But have you got any shout outs before we wrap this up?
Listen, I've got to be shouting at everybody. I've got to be shouting out Shannon Courtney, who's a lovely lady. She's had a lot of stick, but listen, she's overcome her problems. She's admitted her wrongs and she's doing right. And I believe she will be world champion 2021. Brother Hussefa, your hospitality, my brother, I will never forget it. People of Pakistan, your hospitality was unbelievable. Big shout to everyone that's been supporting what I do. My brother Ben Davidson, love you loads, man. We'll catch up very soon. Billy Joe, obviously, Mark Tibbs, Tom Watts, top guy, runs the whole camp. Beautiful brother. Greg, Dave Stash, the whole crew. Mervyn, Lewis Edmondson, Deontay Dixon, Rachel Ball, who's fighting Shannon, hopefully. And, you know, I think Shannon Courtney will be world champion. Ellis Hopkins, I can't wait for her to get out. So big shout to Ellis Hopkins. Habil Khan, if you're watching this, my prayers are with you, my man. And I'm sure you'll be back in action very soon. Who else can I shout out? Well, I'll shout to anybody that wants to help. Listen, I've got a young boxer, Mikey Lee, brought in. He needs sponsorship. He needs some help. So if anybody out there can help, please get in touch. I've got to give a shout out to my TB Promotions. Listen, TB, Mr. TB, Ali, listen, Salam, my brother. A big shout out to Hamza Shiraz, smooth operator, very serious cat, the WBO European champion. Who else is out there that we're going to give a shout to? Ali Tazim, watching my young bloods. Jazz Dillon, he's going to do very, very far. He's going to do very, very well. He's a great amateur. He's another guy to watch out for. Trust me.
There you go, guys. Asgar B, thanks a lot. You can't see B, but he is there. But thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, got to give a shout out to Mr. Shires himself, Mr. Buster. Hope you're well. Ramsey, hope you're well. But Buster, big up to the Shires, massive. The Blochi stand, massive. My man Buster, who's very passionate about boxing. He's Mr. This guy knows his stuff, and he never says I give him a shout out. So I'm giving a shout out to Buster. Big shout.
Good stuff.
And I've got to give a big respect to the pound for pound team. The facility you've given us, unbelievable. Big Barry, Saeed, T, what you guys are doing. I've got to give a shout out to my man Bobby from day one, Nav, my man Siraj, obviously, Nav Saeed, another brother. So give a big shout out to all of them. 2021's the year we make it all happen, Dave.
Yep, and we'll be there every step of the way, Asgar. Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care. No worries at all.
Take time, mate.
Take care, B.
Enjoy the video. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.